Finally, welcome back to Blood Omen. It took me almost, 3 weeks, but it's not every day that you go to a different country to live, so I apologize for that. Cut me please some slack. So, if my memory serves me right, we have stopped halfway through the tower in the middle of Dark Eden, where the triad of guardians of the pillars, of insane guardians who are behind this transmutation, are doing their thing, their headquarters. And if I remember everything correctly, what we are left to do is to get a couple of pieces of endgame equipment. Well, not completely endgame equipment, not the last piece of equipment in the game, just the pieces of equipment that happen to be late game equipment. And confront the wackos themselves. Now, the game does stay true to itself, and basically this entire section is just a sequence of long and slow traps. Through the grate is actually the way to proceed forward, and the temptation is strong because you don't think that when you have to go through a grate in mist form, you don't think that it's the way to go. Instead, you think that the open entrances are the way to progress through the level, but it's the other way around, and unless you know it, or guess it correctly, you will get burned, and I did get burned once. The funny thing is that this is the real reward, the rune triangle and the blood vial. And in just a few videos we are gonna have more blood vials than we need. Yes, the game in fact has more blood vials than you need to max out the health meter. So in like 3 or 4 videos we'll be getting blood vials that will not be doing anything. Maybe even earlier, I don't really remember it that well. Why did I forget to flick that switch? I do not know. Nor do I know what does it do. Honestly, I don't know what it does. If someone can inform me, then please do. Please do. Flinch locking. I hate it. I hate when that happens. Now these spiked balls, they do go in some pattern, and I think it's technically possible to just dodge them all, but I haven't managed to do that once in all my attempts, so instead I just cheese through the things by using the repel. This one I'm pretty sure is not possible to avoid, honestly. I've honestly tried, but I need the barrier. Because I like the name barrier much better than I like repel. And here we are finally getting our pieces of equipment, which are the flesh armor and...
How convenient. This armor, wrought with the blood of noblemen, drains the blood from my enemies for me, leaving me to focus on the slaughter at hand.
and a spell name which I can't remember. So flesh armor is not the most useful piece of equipment in the game. In fact, it's one of the least useful pieces of the game. Because on the one hand, yes, it does automatically transfer blood to you, you don't have to drink it, but in reality it doesn't provide any protection, and usually you won't be able to attack all the enemies at once anyway, so it's just not worth it. It's easier to stun enemies or kill them and then just drink blood from whatever is left.
The axe, bone, the flames, the axe, flesh, chaos armor.
Which is why I switch back to chaos armor as soon as I can, as soon as I show off the way the flesh armor works. I don't think I will end up ever using it, to be honest. But then again, I said the same thing about axes, and look at that. I am using them once in a blue moon, but still using them. And now for the spell. I'm not sure what's the purpose behind making us do this is. I have no idea. They could have just made this, because this is at least somewhat interesting. You have to just dodge something, dodge the projectiles while navigating the spikes. That seemed pointless to me. One of the best spells in the game, by the way.
Tis a spell worthy of the necromancer himself. This allows me to dissect a creature's soul from its vessel of flesh. For these poor wretches, only oblivion awaits.
What this spell actually is basically an insta-kill spell, which I of course waste on a snack. Unfortunately and I mean an insta-kill on literally any non-boss enemy, but unfortunately it's insanely expansive in terms of magical energy. And now we are about to confront the 3 guardians that are behind this entire thing.
Ah, not 1, but 3. Dejul the Energist, Bane the Druid, and Anacroth the Alchemist. How considerate of them to hasten my search.
So the Scourge of the Circle has arrived!
Fear him not, Bane. He is but a whelp. His soul is ours for the taking.
Don't be ridiculous. Malik to our aid.
Damn you, Alchemist. I had not come this far only to have my quarry escape.
Vengeance. Vengeance for my eternity of suffering.
Whelp! As if you knew what eternity was! Grovel before your true master!
Never. I'll hack you from crotch to gizzard and feed what's left to your brides.
As Vorador clashed against Malik, I gave pursuit to the fleeing wizards, Dejul and Bane. I danced their dance. When the time came, they would dance upon my sword.
His magic is weak! He is an affront to nature itself! It is our duty to purify him!
So Bane the Druid and Dejul the Energist. Dejul hits us with energy projectiles and Bane hits us with water tiles. He doesn't attack us directly, he instead just replaces the ground tiles with water tiles, which you cannot walk upon. And yes, it is possible to run out of land to walk upon. Which is why, despite not damaging us directly, I'm trying to say Dejul and Druid at the same time while I'm talking about Bane. Bane is a much bigger threat, and unfortunately it's kind of a boring fight because he can take an insane amount of punishment. This fight is going to take a very long time, even though I actually get lucky a few times and manage to fire off a pair of full 4-strike combos. Because, as you may or may not know, remember, the 4th hit in this combo is the strongest one, it's the one that deals the most damage. But once we are done with Bane and we get his antlers, because that's his pillar token, to say that fight with Dejul is trivial is an understatement. She will be a non-issue whatsoever, as you will see right now. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You just have to hit her once. And that is it. So now the question is, what has happened to Malak and Anakroth?
The cloak was made from an alloy akin to lead, heavy and malleable, woven into fine links. The energy she controlled was stored in this garment. The antler headdress had broken in the fight, but power still resided in its ivory form.
And the Malak Deus Ex Machina. Vorador.
I found Malak's helmet amongst the scattered remnants of his armor, whole and intact. Vorador had finally laid his old adversary to rest.
Honestly, I think that's cheating.
The helmet of Malak I placed before the Pillar of Conflict. The Pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. The act had taken on the feel of ritual. Isn't it strange how we must bribe our gods to stay? At the foot of the energy pillar, I set the cloak of Dejul. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. The antler headdress of the druid Bane I lay before the nature pillar. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored.
You must seek Azimuth the Planar at the heart of Avernus. 3 instruments await you to aid you in your quest. But first you must rise, and you must fall, and find your salvation in between.
Well, that is exactly what we're gonna do next time. So thank you for watching and tolerating me, and see you next time.